coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Hey man, shout out everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Appreciate you, man. Big love, TBP Nation. Let's go, let's get it. Let's do it, man. Let's push this positive energy out there, man. Let's let these young people know penitentiary is the worst place on earth that you want to be. Above ground. Above ground is the worst place you ever want to be, man. That's called captivity. We are not meant to be caged up, so stay free, young kings and queens. Stay free. Hopefully, some of these stories will make you understand what type of life you may have to live if you are behind them walls. Salute. Let's go. Oh, man. This one right here, you might have to buckle your seatbelts for this one right here, man. I'm getting ready to start bringing y'all some more heat, man. But this one right here, man, is crazy. Because this is about a dude that I knew while I was locked up. And he had did a lot of time too. Came in, I believe, when he was 16. Did a lot of time, over 20-some years, and ended up getting out. And when he came in, to my understanding, he was real young, like 15, 16 years old. So he had never even been with a woman. And the whole time that he was locked up, far as to my knowledge, never messed with no boys or nothing like that. So you talking about a dude that ain't never really been with no woman, ain't never, indulged in messing with no boys when he was locked up. None of that. Got out and heard, I guess he got his, first piece of sex or something, and just went crazy, was going crazy out there on the streets, and was doing a lot of different things, man, and getting in trouble here and there, but mostly it was like, I heard it was just about, chasing girls, right? But he ended up getting some more charges and came back to prison. And from what I'm understanding, as soon as he get back, man, his first cell partner that he got, took his manhood from him, and got, got towed off for it, got a case, had to go to court, get some more time. But the time that he came back with would ensure that he won't get out anyway. He won't never get out no more. So I guess this is the life that he living now. So this is about him. And that just was crazy to me, because the whole time that I knew this dude, man, everybody in the penitentiary knew this dude from who knew him from lifting weights. He was a real big dude. I ain't gonna call his name out. He was a real big dude. All he did was lift weights. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of funny. He laughed. He joked with dudes and everything. But he was, like huge. I'm talking about like real big. He eat weights, man. I'm talking about somebody who can bench press, 450 or better. That type of strong. That type of big. I guess when you ain't never, had no real sexual releases, then you got a lot of pent up strength. You understand? So from what I knew of him, man, I knew him fairly early in my bit, man. Probably if I got locked up in 87, I probably knew him maybe since 1990, And yeah, everybody who knew him, man, was cool with him, because like I say, he came in young. So you got to think, if somebody come in the penitentiary 15, 16 years old, they really grew up in the penitentiary. All they know is the penitentiary lifestyle. All they know is, how to survive in prison, eating noodles and eating commissary food, and, taking showers and getting in lines for phones and getting in lines for microwaves. And this is your whole life. If you got locked up at 15 to 16 years old, this is the type of life that you understand. This is the type of life that you know how to live. So to my understanding, he wasn't that big at 15, 16 years old. But when I ran into him, he was super huge, because this became his outlet. His outlet became lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will get caught up in the different things in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? And that'll lead you astray. Some dudes will be so distraught, so depressed, man, and they ain't never did drugs, but they'll start doing drugs and they'll become a full-blown drug addict. Full-blown. I know dudes like that. They became full-blown drug addicts in prison, never did drugs on the street. It's all a release. You have to get into some type of routine. You have to get into some type of uh lifestyle that's gonna take your mind off of where you at and what you doing, and you know what I'm saying, all of your surroundings, the misery that's on you, man, being away from your family, being away from everybody you love. You know, you get to losing people. You know, people get to dying. You know, you'll never see that person again. That person may have been very significant in your life. You know, your like me, I lost my uncles and stuff while I was locked up. All of my uncles was real significant in my life as I was growing up. You know, lost my grandmother, and you know, a lot of other people, cousins, friends. So the same thing. So when you in prison, man, you have to find something that you can channel your energy to in order not to let that type of stuff, you know, wear you down, because it'll wear you down emotionally. And that'll make you crash out or make you do something that you don't want to do. So that's why a lot of dudes get into routines. His routine was lifting weights. And the byproduct of that was that he became real big and real strong, you know. But he didn't indulge in that. I don't even remember him doing a whole lot of gambling. I do know for a fact though, he would get in little stints of borrowing from people and couldn't pay it back. But he was so big, he'd get in some issues like that. I known him to have a couple of little scrapes and scratches, you know what I'm saying, like far as tussling. The ones I know of, he came out on top because it was just like brute strength, like slamming dudes down to the ground, you know, like what they call Donkey Kong, and the dude like slam on their head. But even though he was big like that, it don't mean nobody try you, man, because when it comes down to that money, somebody gonna try you. You know what I'm saying? If nothing else, putting that Bethlehem up in you know. And I had a slight issue with him, and I spoke about it in the other video. I don't want to say too much. If you've been watching TBP Nation, you probably can put two and two together. But I don't really want to say dude's name just for the purposes of this video, because it's not really about him. It's about the prison life, how things transpire in there, how things, you know, happen in there. So I paint that picture to let you know this is all I knew about him. This is what everybody knew about him. But if you would have said back then that nobody would say that he ever known or any rumors about him being, you know what I'm saying, messing with no boys or nothing like that. That just wasn't his lifestyle. So to my understanding, when he went home, I remember the first thing I heard about, they said when he went home, and they said, man, within 2 days he was home, he took his mom car, bought his mom car, ain't got no driver's license or nothing, and was gone for like 3 weeks. And his mom has actually had to call the police about her car. And that was like the first trouble he got in. This after being locked up 20-some years. You know what I'm saying? So he almost got violated off the rip, you know what I'm saying, by taking his mom's car. That's how much when you've been gone so long, you come out in the real world, it could overwhelm you. You know what I'm saying? You got to think now. You probably looking at it like, oh, that's crazy. But you got to think now, you're talking about somebody who's been locked up since they were 15, 16 years old. Then after 20-some years, they got freedom. You know what I'm saying? They got a car. They got access to women. They got access to go and come as they please. That could be overwhelming to some people. Very overwhelming to some people. I never known him to use drugs. You know what I'm saying? I never known him to use drugs when I was around. If he was using them, I ain't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? I think he smoked weed. You know what I'm saying? But that was all I knew about him. But then I heard on the street too, he had got into, you know what I'm saying, using drugs. You know, he chasing women. He drinking now. He didn't even used to drink in there. He was just on that weightlifting stuff. So he doing all these different things now that he home. And then I heard, you know, once you get the habit, then you got to feed the habit. So boom, he started robbing, shooting, ended up getting some crazy charges, man, and getting some life sentences. So you get life sentences in his life sentence after 96 in Virginia. That's, you know, 85%. So in essence, you can't do 85% of a life sentence. You ain't never getting out. So he ended up going back to prison with now life sentences, never getting out again. And they say as soon as he got on this compound in particular that he got on after receiving and all this and ended up on this compound, say they put him straight in the cell with a dude. And that night, the dude that they put him in the cell with, he took the boy's manhood. Took the boy manhood, overpowered him. Dude couldn't do nothing. He's still big. He's still strong as a bull. Dude couldn't do nothing. You understand? Dude that won't even enter this. Just want a boy. You know what I'm saying? He took him off, tore him off. You understand? So the next morning, the boy so scared, you know, because he in the cell with him. He's scared. So to my understanding, he tell him, I beat you to death in here. So boom, the next morning, this is what they do when you know a dude is scared of something. He want to check in to ensure that he don't get hurt. He waited till they go to breakfast, acting like everything's cool, and he dip and go straight to administration people and tell them what happened. They take him over to medical. They do a little kit test on him. They go back and get old boy. You know what I'm saying? Lock him up. You know what I'm saying? They said he rumbled with the police and everything, screaming, "I ain't do nothing." Woo, woo, woo. They lock him up. You know what I'm saying? He ended up getting that case and ended up going to court, a street court, and got some more time. But the time don't matter because he already doing life sentences. You understand? The time don't matter. He ain't getting out anyway. These is just formalities. But they had to do that because old boy who got towed off, he got an automatic lawsuit. That's a lawsuit. When somebody take advantage of you or take your manhood in prison, that's a lawsuit. Or he can push the lawsuit and or his people can push the lawsuit and sue the institution. So they gonna do their due diligence and take you to street court because they gonna say this was beyond their control, but they did hold this person accountable. They trying to lessen the blow of the lawsuit. You understand? So to my understanding, this is what happened, and they boom shipped him straight on up to the mountains. You know, and he was up there for a minute, been up there for a minute, and they said he was up there doing the same thing, up there turning them boys off, and just taking it like that. And they said then he had a boy, and he walking around with the boy in his cell, but then they say he was getting in beats with other dudes because he creeping with other dudes' boys. And like whatever, what you gonna do about it? He on that type of bullet time. So now you talking about somebody who won't never into this at all, did 20 some years, now realizing that I'm never gonna get out, and I've gotten out, and I found out what sex is actually like because he didn't have none before he went in, and now he just ODing off of it. So if I can't have a woman now, I'm gonna mess with these boys, and I'm gonna make sure that I got one. And if I had to take it, I'm gonna take it. I'm like, man, what in this cheesy? So dudes from the penitentiary is telling me this on the phone. I'm right here with him, Banky. I'm telling you, this is what he owned. I'm like, man, this is what he owned, dog. You know what I'm saying? He on it like that. That's what he doing. I'm like, boom. And in my mind, I'm picturing him back from when I knew him, when I was around, when he was the way he was. And it's hard for me to visualize that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to visualize it. I know it's true because of the source of who it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be hard for me to visualize it because I never seen him like that. I never seen him in that type of mode. Even when he got out on the street, and people was telling us what was going on because I was still in the penitentiary when he got out, and people were saying, "Oh man, he out here doing this, he doing that, and woo woo woo." And then a little while later, they like a year or something, two, they was like, "Oh man, he got towed off, he got a case." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, boom. So it's the mindset when you heard all of these things when you locked up about how people go out here who been locked up a minute and then they be wanting this opportunity so bad and they get out here and they crash out. You got to, if you're a person that analyze things, you got to say to yourself, boom, okay, you got to be careful even when you come on the street. You got to be focused. Just like you got to be focused in the penitentiary when you're moving around. You got to be able to take that same focus out here on the street. And some people can't do that. They can't make that transition because they get overwhelmed with all of the freedom that's out here after you've been caged up for so long. The freedom can be overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately for me, I was around my family. You know what I'm saying? They embraced me as soon as I came home from straight out of the gate. So I always had support. A lot of people don't have that type of support. But at the same time, I feel like, and I would like to think that even if I didn't, I would have enough sound mind to know that this is an opportunity that I cannot blow. You understand? But it's just a terrible thing, man. And so I try to think about things like that, and I think about when dudes was telling me this, and I'm trying to picture him and trying to put myself in this frame of mind. And like, why would you know what I'm saying? First of all, get out here and blow the opportunity, and then when you go back, now you on some whole different stuff, man. You into some stuff that you was never into in life. But the reality sets in on some people when they make those type of decisions that, oh man, I ain't never getting out. So I gotta live off the land. I gotta live in here the best that I can. And I guess to him, that includes that. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't really worried about getting no charges. He ain't really worried about getting no tag on his name. He not really worried about what people gonna say about him because he'll fight. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna be a problem to deal with because he's a big old bounce. He ain't worrying about getting no cases because he ain't never getting out. He ain't worried about them, you know what I'm saying, putting no label on his name because he feel like he ain't gonna never see the streets again. See, so when you in penitentiary, you may have to deal with somebody like this who has that type of mindset, like I ain't never getting out. That alone is a dangerous person. If that person is also aggressive, if that person is also violent, you got something to deal with. Not just you being an inmate, not just you being a convict, but also the administration. Also, the administration, they got somebody to deal with. And you have dudes in there just walking around like that with that type of attitude and that type of aggression on them, like, I ain't getting out anyway, man. What you gonna do to me? You can't do nothing to them type of people but send them to another prison. Send them to Wallace Ridge, send them to Red Onion. Worst come to worst, send them out of state. But if their attitude don't change or they don't start looking at things and moving different, it ain't gonna do nothing. It's just another place. When you dealing with somebody who knows that this is the end for me, I'm never gonna see freedom again. What threat can you put upon me that make me, you know what I'm saying, adhere to your rules and regulations? What? What can somebody, another inmate or convict, do to him? Did he feel like he can't take the ultimate, you know what I'm saying, revenge on them? He can't take their life. What can happen? Only thing that can happen now, the worst case scenario for a person like that is to mess around and get, they get the death penalty. But they know just taking somebody's manhood, you ain't gonna get no death penalty. You can only get more time. Stabbing somebody up real bad and don't taking their life, you can only get more time. Beating a CO up, attacking a female CO, you can only get more time. You cannot get the worst thing that can happen to you if you actually take a life, then they can give you the death penalty. But anything besides taking a life, this person who has life without parole can do all of these things, and the only consequence that they will have to suffer is to get more time or to even get beat up by the police, which is probably going to be a given. But then when you're dealing with somebody like that, they can turn around and say, you beat me, boom, they going to beat you because they got the advantage. Okay, you get out on me, you beat me down, you throw me in the hole, I get go to medical, get patched up, stitched up. When I heal up and I hit population, I'm gonna take one of you COs down. And you got, trust me, you got some convicts that done did that. I'm gonna catch one of you COs and I'm gonna stab you until my arm get tired. You understand me? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing this is because y'all put your hands on me. So you wanna put your hands on me again for this? When I come out again, it might be you. And you got inmates that take that type of stand, them revolutionary type dudes, they letting you know this side's going. It's gonna be consequences and repercussions if you put your hands on me. So then you'll have the administration that be, even when they do something, the administration ain't gonna, because it's gonna be in his jacket. They not gonna be that aggressive with him. They might put the regular rough up on you and get you back, but they ain't gonna get you back there and get them cuffs on you and do you dirty like they do a whole lot of other people. And they definitely do it to everybody who do something to a CO. You know what I'm saying? And even extra if you do something to a female CO. They gonna put the beast on you straight up. As soon as you get out of that camera range, they gonna put the beast on you. And even when they have somebody there who's supposed to document it with a camcorder, that's a CO. And when they know they get ready to do something to you, all of a sudden the camera is somewhere else and they doing what they do to you. And then as soon as they finish, and then they holler all that same garbage that you see them hollering out here on the news. Stop resisting, stop resisting. Then when they get to that point, then they put the camera back on you. You see what I'm saying? Or either they get a big CO that stand there and be like this, and then they had the camera like that, like they can't get around them. Man, there's a whole lot of tomfoolery that goes on in there. But I say all that to say this. When we talking about this individual, this is the type of individual you dealing with, because he has life sentences and ain't never getting out. He done already did a dove and some. He know what it's like to do time. He know what he facing. He know what his future is, and it is the penitentiary. So he gonna do it the way he want to do it, and obviously this is the way he chose to do it. He chasing boys, he making boys, he rumbling when he want to rumble. They say he taking commissary from people. You know what I'm saying? He doing what he want to do. The only consequences he can face is to get moved around. That's it. To get moved around. And I'm gonna tell you a reality that y'all may not even know. When you got life without parole, when you catch these cases, let's say a regular person catch a drug case in penitentiary. If you got 10, 15 years and you catch a drug case and they catch you with an ounce of dope or something, you're going to the courtroom and get some more time. You going to street court. Do you know if they catch a person with life without parole with an ounce of dope, you know they ain't even taking them to court? They going to give him a street charge and they going to transfer him and they going to move him somewhere else. But he ain't going to no street court because it ain't no judge trying to hurt that. What can I do to him? Give him 20 more years? He got life without parole. See what I'm saying? So these are the dynamics when you're dealing with a person like this. Everybody has to make adjustments dealing with a person like this. If that person is on one, everybody got to make adjustments. The administration got to make adjustments. Dudes that's around them got to make adjustments, because you know you're dealing with somebody who ain't never getting out. So that person has literally nothing to lose but their life. So if you're not willing to take them out, then you need to stay away from them, because you already know that they willing to take you out because they ain't got nothing else coming. You understand? So with this dude right here, man, it just was shocking to me. And the reason why I brought the story up, because I was just talking to somebody on the phone the other day, and they was telling me they at the same place that this person is at now, and that's what they own. That's what they own. They own them boys, and they own that money, and they own all types of BS. And whatever you want to do, they with it. Whatever you want to do, they with it. And dudes know that. So dudes steer clear up, you know. And those who don't know it and don't steer clear up, it is what it is, because he gonna do whatever, you know. But I just think that's just crazy, man, you know, how life unfolds sometimes. Because like I said, seeing him and knowing him in the penitentiary since I was like 87, 88, 89, 90, I've known him since the third year I was in. And I could not see any of this. I could not foresee any of this. You understand? But it is what it is. This is what the penitentiary would do to your life, man. It would take you in places that you never thought you would go. It would have you doing things that you never thought you would do. And it'll just suck all the life out of you, man, if you allow it to. You have to fight against it, man. You have to put up major resistance, mentally, physically, spiritually, against all evil and demons, man. You have to put up that type of resistance, man. And it's hard to do because you got to do it every day. Every single day, you'll be up against these things, man. Mental warfare as well, you know, to keep your sanity and your humanity. Because you can feel, after being treated inhumane so long, you can feel inhumane. You can feel like you're not human, you know? So, yeah, man, but I could only pray for him, man. I could only pray for him. But that's just something that y'all youngins out here, this in the free world, y'all need to understand. These are the type of forces you'll be dealing with if you behind them walls, man. And you never know. You never know, man, how it's gonna shake out. But anyway, y'all talk to me in the comments. I talk back. Big love, TBP Nation. This month, June, all June, we are what? Huh? 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 We spamming. Say cheese. It's on my vision board. Say cheese, say cheese, say cheese. We spamming say cheese. Emailing. Hitting them up on all social media. Telling them that you need the Bankypound interview. Let's make it happen, TBP Nation. Let's go. Let's get it. Peace. Be safe. Be smart. Make good decisions, man. And duck that penitentiary, man. We out here, man. We trying to reach them and teach them. Let's go. There.
Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.